We are live.
Hello. Welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 338. I am Otto, and I'm joined tonight with Jared Schneiderman.
Hey, guys.
Jane Spab.
Hello.
And Nicholas Pacone.
What it is.
So, sorry, we took a little break last week. It was our Super Sports Ball break. I appreciate you guys. I know the long wait, but we put up an episode of Late to Liberty. So hope you guys got a chance to check that out. Hopefully you liked it. But yeah, so last week was the Super Bowl, and shit, man, it was pretty fun. Dude, it was so politicized. It was the most politicized sports ball event ever. I even had to make a post. I was like, wow, they completely merged the woke ideology into our bread and circuses. It was so bad.
Was there a military flyover, or did they reassociate parents with their children coming back from war, reuniting, and in a tearful,
that would have broke
salute to veterans?
No, yeah, it was total. It was nothing about the veterans, frontline workers, and minorities. Like that's pretty much the gist of.
Was there a salute to COVID at least?
Or, the frontline heroes, the heroes.
So that must be specifically why Tom McDonald released Fake Woke last week, because he knew that was going to come out, and he's going to trying to call the whole thing out for what
Who is Tom McDonald?
He's a Canadian rapper.
Canadians have rap.
He's a white Canadian rapper, cool. Even better.
Jeez.
Well, you already said Canadian, so I assumed he was white.
Yeah. He released the song Fake Woke.
What kind of weird collectivism is that to say that
he needs a better rap name, though, dude?
No, go on.
I mean, he's doing okay for himself.
Yeah,
he's got multi-million songs.
So what was it? So this song got some attention.
Well, it got kicked off Spotify, from what I understand, and I found out about it this past week, and what's hilarious is because I was going through. I love watching reaction videos to him because he's so polarizing. Like in particular, in Fake Woke, he goes out and says Black Lives Matter is a bullshit term because they're fucking us all equally, and I love watching black people react to it. But what was hilarious is that like basically every video I watched was just another person say, "Yeah, no, this dude gets it. This guy sees what's going on. Like he's the real deal." Except for the white people who are like, he's just a fake Eminem wannabe. So it's like, it was just a really interesting thing and very topical considering, how woke everything was that particular week. It had to be planned. He thinks that stuff pretty heavily.
Cool. Getting kicked off Spotify, good for him. I hope it accelerates his career.
It seems to have. They had to put it back on Spotify too.
Oh, now we should say and you can't play it on Spotify now.
But what's really funny is I'm pretty sure that song is at this point really gotten more views than the actual Super Bowl did, which I love being proven right on everything.
Yeah, you were mentioning how right you always are.
I am pretty damn right.
It's a burden few really understand.
Time always proves it, Sure, you might think I'm wrong right now, but give me 6 months. It'll come around. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
But no, I've been saying I think that they shot themselves in the foot with what they did to pro sports, because so much of life is built on habit, and they took away that habit for a year. And every article I saw was just about the declining numbers in viewership across the season. And then you'd think that maybe if you're going to get something, it's going to at least be the Super Bowl. And from what I understand, it was the most abysmal Super Bowl even imaginable. Like they don't even know how bad.
How can you have a Super Bowl when the whole thing is a Super Bowl party and they're telling you no parties, right? So Super Bowl party time, no parties. What? Like, of course,
social distance.
Of course, nobody really cares about the football as much as they do about the parties and the fun and the excitement and the whatever, the little miniature nationalism that you can have. You can start hating the other, people can really get into that.
But I heard it was like the worst way to kick off Black History Month ever this year.
Oh boy, it was definitely fun, to say the least. A lot of apparently now Queen Latifah's in a new show. They made sure to show like 17 highlights of Queen Latifah's in this new show where she's like a 50-year-old overweight black woman who apparently is like also a CIA agent who's like kicking ass and fucking people up left and right. It was priceless. I was just every time I saw it, I just laughed.
That was a great way to kick off. Is Ice Cube in it and totally emasculated?
No.
Oh man, they're missing some of their woke points. Then they could have done better.
Nope, unfortunately not. Maybe the sequel. Maybe
is it literally the CIA?
She's an FBI. One of the alphabet agencies.
It is like a real agency type thing where they're so it's doubling as state propaganda.
Oh yeah,
top of the woke propaganda.
You know it.
Damn.
That's
that double banger.
It's called synergy. Yeah,
synergy. Yeah, exactly.
Well, now did they have a giant flag on the field?
Oh yeah, there was a giant flag. Oh yeah.
And was there a military flyover? Like,
you know what? I take that back. I don't know if there was a flag.
I don't remember a flag. I was only half paying attention to the whole thing.
It was. I know it was a terrible like.
Started playing poker in like the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was brutal. But we decided to skip the podcast for that.
Yeah. Probably would have been more fun to just do the podcast.
Probably.
So you don't think sports is going to be ever going to be the same post COVID? Like probably not.
I think it'll bounce back.
I'm sure there's other fields like theater, live music, like so many other, entertainment fields.
Well, you're missing the point. Live everything is completely done away with, man. Y'all are dreaming if you're thinking that's coming back in a big way. Like people are terrified.
Well, I'm headed down to Florida because I hear that they've, you can take like a COVID vacation down there.
That's
like nobody's freaked out. You could just go be normal.
I'm going to Florida too. Yeah.
That's how bad life is. I hate Florida more than I could possibly ever describe. And I've been thinking, man, Florida's been looking really good.
I have. Last time I was in Florida, it was like my senior year, it was in college. We did like a spring break to Florida. So yeah, it's not been on my top of my list, but then I realized like I got a lot of friends down in Florida. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
You got some active freedom skills,
and I can act normal and just what it's like. It's not crazy mask hysteria land. Okay, it's looking pretty good.
Well, and they've got a Super Bowl champ. They've got the GOAT down there now.
Right,
GOAT.
Tom Brady. Getting drunk, throwing the Super Bowl trophies, the Vince Lombardi trophy,
stealing it from black dudes.
Yeah, I heard like the daughter of the guy who like designed that trophy is now like upset with Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, she's totally being a Karen about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. What are you talking about?
All right, so when you win the Super Bowl, you get this trophy that's been passed down year over year over year. I assume it's the same one, although I also probably imagine they probably just reproduce it and just say it's the same one.
Sure,
but so they were having some sort of like boat parade because they can't do like a real parade. So they're having like a boat parade, and Tom Brady was on one of the boats and he got like hammered. Everyone was hammered, and he like threw this trophy, this allegedly one of a kind trophy, to another boat to like his championship tight end, who caught it, and it was fine, but
Wait a minute, that's the scenario? That's what they're figuring out about? That's hilarious.
Dude,
that's amazing.
That's called showmanship. Okay.
Exactly.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right there.
I mean, I don't like the guy because like the way he's, I don't know. I'm bitter. Like I appreciate that he's a great talent and he's obviously proven it, but he's also kind of a little bitch and he whines to refs and they even passed a rule for him to, allegedly protect quarterbacks, which means like you can't touch the quarterback anymore. And it's kind of hurt the game.
I despise sports, and this just all makes me like him more.
Right.
It was them passing a rule to pussify football. Is that just because you hate football?
Drunkenness, right?
Oh, no, I hate sports in general.
No, the drunk stuff is the stuff where I'm like, oh, well, he's actually like a human being now. I can relate to this guy because I've been drunk on a boat before.
Yeah, but this is all hilarious because literally the only thing I'd heard about him was the fact that they're pissed that it wasn't the black guy who won during Black History Month
Oh yeah, there was definitely a lot of tweets that said that. A lot of just randoms on Twitter.
Mahomes? He's not even black, is he?
He's half black, half Kermit the Frog.
That doesn't count, dude.
It does count. Look, Obama.
Is it one drop?
Obama.
Is it the one drop rule?
Hey, Obama, dude. He was the first black president.
That's
he was
true.
half black, so
That's true.
That's all I've heard for
counts,
weeks
bro.
that happened.
Yeah, there were a few blue check marks. It was just like, wow, I can't believe the way we starting off, Black History Month, a white quarterback beats a black quarterback, and yeah, it was like that too. But I was like, you know what? I got Employee of the Month last February, so I broke a lot of glass ceilings when I did that.
Wow.
What did you have to do for your manager to earn that?
Black from the waist down, just remember.
But no, it was cool. Like seeing him drunk. Like I think that's like the new thing that you're going to see now. A lot of like celebrity or sports teams, whenever they win a championship, they're just going to get hammered. The Capitals, as a matter of fact, the Washington Capitals, when they won the Stanley Cup in 2018, they went nuts. Like it was the first time ever they took the Stanley Cup everywhere throughout.
I don't think this is new though, dude. I mean, wasn't it like the Miami Dolphins got in trouble back in like the 70s for like renting a boat and having a bunch of like prostitutes and shit on it?
I mean, there's
Remember that?
That's another level of. I'm talking about like when you win the championship with the cup.
I think they had one.
Look,
they did in '72. They beat Washington Redskins back in 1972.
It's all bullshit until one of them wins and then starts shoving masks up their ass on camera.
Well, that's the thing. No one was wearing masks. They were all getting hammered. And then people would say, like, I don't think Florida. I saw a girl tweeted this. She said, I don't think Florida deserves a championship with the way, or Tampa deserves a championship with the way things have been going in Florida the past,
Oh, you mean they're completely non-mentionable?
Yeah. Right.
Right, because they haven't had enough COVID cases to make them happy. We're not happy because Florida's flaunting their lack of COVID cases, and so we want to take away their football trophy.
There was a lot of that, and it's funny.
Cancel everything. Just cancel everything.
It was so cool to see people just like not giving a shit, and just like it was almost like old world stuff you see. People just having fun, getting drunk, no masks, no social distancing, none of that crap. Just and it is, whatever. I'm not trying to sit there and say the virus isn't real. I'm just saying it's just cool to see something like the old world. And people got so upset at the fact that they weren't.
Dude, caring
enough.
Well, and this is a football team where they've been around each other on the field anyways without masks.
Shouldn't they be like having two or three masks now? Like two or three,
that's what the CDC suggests. Well,
they're already like testing the shit out of these motherfuckers. I mean, although they did have some breakouts allegedly in the season, but I mean, I don't know. It's like they just finished the game. Like they were already right next to each other. What's the big deal? Just fuck off.
No,
I was talking to one of my partners in my one acoustic act last night, and I was just reminiscing with the fact that last August was probably the last like show we played together, and we did a private party in this backyard for like a girl's graduation. And dude, it was like in retrospect, probably one of the most insane like memories I will ever have, because the world was going nuts at that point. And these people just didn't give a shit. And we just played in the backyard. People were hanging out, drunk as hell, running into each other, having a fucking great time. And God, like to think of that fucking world. Like I as a musician, like I don't know that world will ever be possible again. Like I really just have discounted that my music career is over. Like I won't be playing shows ever again.
They've got live bands at the Seven Sisters Brewery in Pennsylvania that has just said, screw it, we're just doing it. Like awesome. they got live bands. They've been defying the orders. They don't care. They're just.
If I didn't live in the most liberal city in the fucking state, then I probably might be able to pull it off. Unfortunately,
this is in Bethlehem. How far are you? How far is Bethlehem for you?
Well, I live in Cleveland, so
that's like a day's drive.
It is.
And it's funny because we're actually hosting a Mises Caucus event in Newmarket, Maryland, which is kind of far out in Maryland, like towards Frederick. And the reason we're going to this place is because they said that they're going to stop listening to the Frederick County ordinance that says you have to be closed by 10. They said we're staying open until we feel like closing. And so we're like, screw it. And I had a few people say, hey, let's go there and support them. I was like, let's do it. So, and same thing with our Maryland State Convention. We're also going to be having it in places that have kind of just, have said that they don't give a shit.
The problem isn't the locations, honestly. So they this past weekend here in Cleveland, they actually did away with the curfew finally, so bars can stay open till normal bar hours.
How nice of them.
Yeah. The point is you still have social distancing in effect. So the reason you hire a band is to fill your bar. If you legally can't fill your bar because of social distancing regulations, there's literally no point in having a band, certainly not when you're going to pay. So there's just no point in it. And it's a little frustrating.
In Baltimore, they have, you can go out to eat now. You can eat indoors, but they have a 1 hour limit on how long you can eat for. Which is just
hey, how about this, Nick? I have a feeling that there are plenty of clubs that are defying the shutdown orders and the social distancing stuff. Why not? And they're probably wishing they could get bands. A lot of the bands are probably scared. Is there a way that, why don't we try to, musicians, you want to play, clubs, you want to do shows, patrons, you want live shows, let's make it happen, right? I mean, I know there's all three of these groups out there. Why not do it?
Maybe. I know the part of the problem is that the musicians are also notoriously leftist.
That's what I'm saying. You have to find
find
a certain band that doesn't give a shit about that, like somebody that's not like. I saw the band that I saw at the brewery. I think the drummer was wearing a mask during the show. Like, really? Okay, but you know what? They were doing the show. The show went on, so I wasn't. Yeah.
And I think it's good to support venues, that small time venues and stuff like that. They were struggling. These people are really struggling. And there's a local bar that I go to all the time called Bavarian Bro House. It's kind of close to the airport around here, BWI. And I go there all the time. It's a German restaurant. I love it. And they're struggling to stay open. They're absolutely struggling. And the owner was so excited that I was actually having events there and having people come there. We had an Oktoberfest there last year. And he's just like, I could see like he's struggling for his employees. Like, and the employees talk to me and they're like, he takes care of us. All this, everything that's going on, because it's in Anne Arundel County, which had this, they had to get reduced back to like they had to close again, and they had to open, and then they were forced to close again for indoor dining, and it's just insane. And they were just, every single time, like the waitresses got laid off because they weren't allowed to have indoor dining. They were telling me like, no, he'd take care of us. He'd make sure that we could feed our families. He'd make sure and I'm like, wow, like I want to support this guy. This guy's doing all this stuff for his employees. I feel like this urge, like I have to support these people. Yeah, and I think that's the crucial thing. And so much it's like the greatest transfer of wealth that's happened in this past year in the history. Like, it's insane to think, and these people are getting left behind, and it just sucks. It really kind of like, it hurts. It hurts to see that a lot of these people are going under.
Well, the moral of the story is, if you will fill Phil full of sausage, he will enjoy you for a long time.
He will love you a long time.
Stop dead naming me, you bigot.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to dead name.
You fucking bigot.
I'm gonna change your name right here.
No, stop it. But no, they're a cool place. I really love them, and it's just, like I said, it just sucks. And you think about how much money Amazon, Walmart, Target, all these places have made this past year. Start spending. I know it sounds really corny to say, spend local or shop local.
Not local,
right? But there are a lot of places,
American,
right? And the ones that aren't sitting there, simping to the whole thing, like, no, this is a good thing that we're being run out of business. It's a good thing for the country. Those type of people. Don't go them. The people that are like actually worshiping their destruction and their financial ruin. Don't support those people.
Fuck. Agreed.
So how many people got rid of their Disney subscriptions this week?
Apparently not a lot, and I'm a hypocrite. Like a big old fat hypocrite.
Mine's through my Verizon, otherwise I would have.
I kept mine.
Oh.
So this is so I think you're hinting at the Gina Carano situation.
Yeah,
Gina
so
Carano. Sorry, my bad.
Gina Carano
Yes,
was what was her character's name?
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune on The Mandalorian. She was this badass kind of bounty hunter chick or whatever, and she said some things on Twitter over the course of, I guess, months, maybe even years.
A few months.
That some people collected and made a big stink about, and now she has lost her job. Yeah, so I mean, being the resident Jew here, I feel like I've got to weigh in on the main accusation, which is that she is anti-Semitic.
Do you want to put that up on the screen?
I was about to pull it up. Can someone drop the link if they have it?
I will get it to you in 1 second.
The best meme I saw was the one. It's like claimed of anti-Semitism now has a film being made by an Orthodox Jew.
You're jumping ahead there a little bit, there, Nick. You're jumping ahead, man. But that Orthodox Jew would be His Royal Highness. I don't know, Jared. I don't know the proper words. Rabbi. I don't know.
What? I got lost. Hold on.
I'm just being racist. It's fine.
Let me. I have this on the stuff.
The Orthodox
all right, here we
let
go.
women become rabbis. So no.
Let's share screen.
All right, so you're bringing it up right now.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So yeah, it says here. She had a this isn't a tweet. This is a Instagram story. So this is an important part because people said that she went ahead and deleted these, but stories automatically delete after 24 hours. Stories don't go away.
Stories
go away.
Yes.
So it says
legends never die.
Yeah. So it says. So the text is: Jews were beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers but by their neighbors, even by children. Frowny face. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? So this is the tweet, which actually the caption under it says exactly what you just said, Phil. It says, "This is a screenshot of a now deleted post."
Exactly.
Like, okay, boomer. You don't know how fucking Instagram works.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, look, as a resident Jew here, I gotta say, I'm not feeling the anti-Semitism here. I'm feeling like this is it's an analogy. It's a little stretched. I don't know if we're quite on this level.
It's a clear stretch, but it's a hypothetical situation where it's like the message is it's relatable to today. It's like
you've got people. Yeah, I mean, you've got people informing on their neighbors for not wearing a mask. You've got people informing on their neighbors for attending a rally in DC. You've got people just calling, trying to cancel people for voting for Trump or whatever. So it's not that far of a stretch. I mean, it's a stretch. It's clearly not at that level, but it's a valid point.
So the thing is, this is an active 6-month campaign to get her banned. Like
it is. It has been.
Yeah.
They've been working for months, and dude, everything that they've tried, like, it is the most middle of the road, milquetoast, boomer conservative kind of stuff ever. Like, and honestly, frankly, most of it's just all asking for people to look to their brother and don't be an asshole. That's then the big message behind all of it. And they're treating it as if she's the second coming of Hitler for just generic conservatism.
And I think it was Eric July had a viral tweet or whatever, but he was pointing out, no, it wasn't him. It was someone else. It was Neocon Remover on Twitter. I think he's Yankee Remover. But his tweet was basically, the corporate media has been telling us, that Trump is literally Hitler. For the past 4 years, but if someone else makes a comparison to the Holocaust, it's anti-Semitic all of a sudden.
Yeah,
he said it much more clever. And
if I could go off on a tangent,
that was basically just.
I want to go off on a tangent because there's something really important about what she posted, and it's everything in general because this is so true about shit getting erased from history. If you go back, and I've studied since I was a little kid, man, I don't know. I just was like, I liked hearing about World War II. And I just would read books about it. I'd watch TV shows, movies, anything I could find. I was just fascinated by it. I was just a typical kid. And I would read up. And I felt like I know. I realized like I knew a lot more. And I moved into like World War I because I wanted to know how World War II started, blah, blah, blah. But I studied, and it wasn't until my 20s, honest to God, like I read books. I mean, I know it's going to sound really stupid for me not to say this to some people, but there is it wasn't until my 20s did I learn about VC France. Do you guys know about that? VC France?
Occupied,
Viet Cong,
occupied France, where they had a Nazi, became part of the Nazi Empire for a period of time.
No Germans occupying that at all. It was literally French citizens sympathetic to the cause that took over, who just would respond back to Germany, respond back to Hitler, and they would literally. It was run. They were putting their neighbors into camps. They were rounding up Jews, and they were nothing but French citizens turning on French citizens. And then going back and hearing about some of the most like awful, horrific things you hear about the Holocaust, like the really creepy, gross things, the pictures you see come from the Croatian SS, and they were awful, and they were all Croats. They were nationalists. Radical Catholic nationalists, and they did all the bidding on their own. Like they volunteered to do this against Jews, Poles, Serbs, Gypsies, everyone in their communities. They did this themselves. There was not one. There was no Germans there.
Well, who was the one that convinced them that they needed to hate these groups?
It was all cultural. It was all by like the news and everything. They would literally.
But who was behind it? Like, I mean, we see these campaigns here where you're supposed to hate Mexicans. Like one group wants you to hate Mexicans, another group wants you to hate Muslims, another group wants you to hate China, another group wants you to hate Russia. Like, who's driving it?
Well, if Thomas Sowell is to be believed, it's just always been that way.
We've always been at war with
the Jews are just always hated by everyone, mostly because culturally they find themselves as middlemen in situations.
Yeah, I mean, anti-Semitism is about as old as like the religion itself.
Right. And I think, but to my point is like, no one taught me this I didn't learn this in school, even in private school. I didn't learn this. It wasn't until my 20s when I was like, wait a minute, I heard the name VC France, but no one ever sat down and explained to me that Hitler didn't want full control. He only wanted the north part of France. He wanted to make sure that all the places where England could invade would be taken care of by German troops, German occupied zones. And he let France, the southern France, all into the Mediterranean, just take care of itself. And all they have to do is just report back to them. And he put like little clones of themselves in charge, but they were French citizens. And no one explained this to me until I was in my 20s. And I feel like, how does that happen? And I know I'm not the brightest of all guys, but I really felt like I put more of an effort into learning about this, maybe not as intensely because I should have known about this, but I feel like the casual person, no one's taught this. Everyone's taught that it was just German people went into these all throughout Europe and it was all Germans. It was a whole collaboration of the sentiment of anti-Semitism, nationalism, that was going through all these communities all throughout, even Eastern Europe, Russia, everything. And I didn't know this stuff. So when she goes back and so when she goes back and says that we forget these things, she's right. I at least that's what spoke to me. And I could be completely wrong, just a dumb person who didn't really
nothing really compares though to her talking about the election possibly being fraudulent. That's the real crime here, Phil.
Well, they wanted her. She also made her in her Twitter profile. She said her pronouns are beep, beep, boop.
Oh, that's awesome. She's obviously been a problem for them, not this last tweet, but maybe they were finally like, okay, we can call that anti-Semitism. Go ahead and, but it was really this stuff. And who knows, she's obviously not on the team, on the narrative team.
Well, it's been a 6-month campaign that they've been working on this. Like she's trended like 3 or 4 times. The Fire Corrado or whatever it is hashtag. And they've last I'd heard is that like they were trying to force her to apologize to Disney to keep her job on the man.
What do you think this is doing to other celebrities clinging to their celebrities, their minor celebrity status?
Well,
like hoping to climb the like they don't even have Epstein's ladder now to get to like climb that to raise
Epstein's
their career.
ladder.
So,
well, the important
like
thing
Jacob's ladder
is the response. So while she was fired from Disney, she has apparently found herself a new opportunity, and that's the real important part. So for all of her anti-Semitism, she was given a job by Ben Shapiro.
yeah, but do you think all the other actors are out there? Well, if Disney fires me, at least there's Ben Shapiro. Like, no, they're not. They're going like, holy shit! I hope that doesn't happen to me. I better not say the wrong thing on Twitter.
I think that the type of people that go into acting tend to be leftists anyways. So they're just hanging out.
Well, what's interesting though, and it's probably just because he has so much power because he's been around for so long, but Matthew McConaughey is a guy who's been pretty right wing for a while and has been pretty out about it and seems to have not faced that many consequences.
He's also not crazy out about it. Like
he's so adorable.
You pay attention to what he says. Like he walks a very, very fine line. Like I've never seen him go, yeah, let's all vote for Trump.
No. He hasn't done that. He hasn't been like posting anti-mask stuff or voter fraud stuff. But I mean, he's definitely. I guess he's kind of like their like I don't know.
Would you say he is alt right, man?
Alt right.
How has he not been Me Too'd for that line in?
I get older, they stay the same age.
Right? Yeah, I'm fucking drunk. I'm sorry. I've been drinking.
You're drunk already, dude?
Yeah, I've been drinking. Oh, dude, I've been plowing through these seltzers, man.
Oh yeah, Josh points out Tim Allen's also another
that's
conservative
true.
Guy.
That's true.
And look at his career; it's been kept down pretty hard.
Is he the Tool Time guy?
She's done.
Yep, Tool Time.
See, I think that's allowed though, because you're like you give this like conservative persona with tools and stuff, and they kind of allow you to be that guy. You know what I mean? But like, you want to be like a good-looking Hollywood dude. Whoa, wait a minute.
So you guys, it sounds like you guys aren't aware of like even with his show, the amount of shit that he got.
Oh no,
like, it was not without controversy.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
That was during the Obama years. He had that show. I forget what it's called.
It was Last Man
Home
Standing or
Improvement?
something.
Was it Last Man Standing? I think so. I think it was Last Man
Standing. Was that during
Standing.
the Obama years?
Yeah, during the Obama years. No, he has I think they continued it. Like they went on break for a little bit and then they continued it again.
But it was basically the same characters. Like
yeah. It was like the same characters, but I don't know. I don't know the circumstances. I watched a little bit of the season when it came out. Yeah, Last Man Standing. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Josh. And it was a pretty funny show, and he wasn't. See, that was before the Trump years. It was like Trump years has done this like fucking awful thing on people where it's like you just cannot have this point of view.
Yeah, can't even exist.
It's not allowed to even exist. Like exactly.
My mom's new favorite phrase is, "Well, I'm sorry that you believe that."
Hold on. The hashtag Fire Gina Carano has been circulating since September.
Yeah, that's when this first started. It's the first round of the beep beep boop or whatever.
I didn't even hear. Yeah, I mean, I was not aware of that. Of course,
I have what's called celebrities and sports people are 100% narrative compliant. Like that's what they're like. These people are popular, but they're not compliant. Oh, to the ramparts.
Hang them high.
Well, hey, at least Captain Marvel gets like 700 views a video on YouTube.
It's cringy.
Is that good?
No, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, the movie, or what? What do you mean?
Yeah,
no, the girl. What's her name? I don't like her. So,
Brie Olsen.
Yeah, Brie Larson.
Brie Larson's a porn star, dude.
Brie Olsen's a porn star? Wow, yeah. Dirty boy. I didn't know that.
You're the one who said it.
Brie Larson has like a
she's the worst.
And she has like 700 views a video on her like channel with millions of subscribers. And it'd be more funny if it really wasn't so sad. It's like, oh, without like a huge like influx of money, they can't make anyone give a shit about you.
Yeah, she's awful.
It's pretty cringy.
But hey, she's the future of Marvel and Disney.
Not really, man.
Fire
Like
Gina Carano. We get more Brie
Fuck
Larson.
all that shit. Fuck all that shit. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fuck, man. It's I don't know. She's not gonna have much of a future. I think there was enough backlash against how that whole thing went down at Marvel, with her and her roles. She's just a terrible actress, and I don't know. I didn't think she was that bad when she was in 21 Jump Street, and she was also in another thing, and she was okay. And I thought she was a pretty good actress. But then when she got to to Captain Marvel, it was just the most stale, awful acting. It's just like, what is she doing? Like it was, and then on top of the messaging and how they switched around the characters. And I know Eric July goes off on this a lot, so I don't really feel.
I have to fight my hipster inclinations because she was the front woman for Clash at Demon Head in the Scott Pilgrim movie.
Really?
And I never knew that. And now that I know that, it makes me want to hate Scott Pilgrim. And I love that movie. I'm fighting my inner hipster.
Dude. Well, I mean, don't fight it too hard. I want to keep you around for a while. I like your hipster, yo.
God, the movie was so good.
It's been so long since I've seen that. What did that year come out? Like 2008, 2010?
The thing that sticks out is the vegan police thing. When he puts the cream in the coffee. It's gelato, bitch. Milk and eggs. And it's Thomas Jane that plays the guy from the vegan police.
Wow. Yeah. No, you're good, man. You're good. But yeah, so it sucks that I loved her character on Gina Carano. I loved her character. She's just like a badass. She was a shock trooper for the rebellion, and she had so much. They were going to give her own storyline and everything. She was going to have her own spinoff show, allegedly, and it was just so cool. Like because Mandalorian was such a hit.
Well, there was a possibility of more than one show because they were talking. She might have been Knights of the Republic and the Cara Dune show, and they were supposed.
And this would have fit in nicely. You know, it would have fit in nicely with the feminist agenda too, right? I mean, it was like a fucking shoo-in.
But honestly, not. I mean, not
your audio isn't working, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure Ben Shapiro's got some equally exciting role for her. I'm sure it's gonna be. You have all the same action and sci-fi drama that you've come to love with a twist of
that whole development is so
conservatism.
Cringy. It's so cringy, dude. I'm just like,
Well, so I've been hearing more and more about them doing movies. Like somebody else put out a movie produced by them recently. I think it was about like a kid like fighting off a school shooting or something like that, and it was supposed to be actually a really good movie. But the point is like all the really good stuff Hollywood's refusing to produce now, like for all the obvious reasons. Right. So like that's why we get shitty action movies and not good ones. Like just rehash all the old bullshit and make it worse.
Yeah, it's
and she was actually giving me a really good character, and I she wasn't like the most impactful in the series, but it was really fucking cool that The Mandalorian did this thing where it was Star Wars, and it was they had a scene, right, like where it was all women. I think it was in the season finale of season 2, where it was like all these women were like fighting against I think it was the Dark Troopers, and it didn't even hit me that it was all women that were fighting us, and it didn't hit me until like several minutes into the story, and I'm like, wait a minute, these are all women. Like I was just enjoying the story and the plot line. Whereas in Endgame, when they have this cringy post-edit scene where they have all these women that are CGI'd into it, and like, we got this, and it was a full women dedicated scene that they crammed together in the edits like part of the movie.
Ghostbusters,
dude,
right? And it was so cringy and it was forced. Whereas Mandalorian, everything was just naturally happening. That it wasn't even being shoved down your throat. It was just natural.
Doctor Who, remember
story.
Doctor Who went down the tubes by shoving it down your throat with their agenda that completely destroyed that franchise.
The first 5 minutes of season 11 and never watched another episode because fuck that bullshit.
I couldn't believe how badly they sabotaged. They sacrificed that entire franchise. Like they used to have some wonderful actors and great scripts and scores and everything. I mean, was first rate. And then they said screw it.
They had to bring John Barrowman like out of retirement as Captain Jack to like try and save the season.
Just to get somebody to come back and watch another episode.
Dude, and the worst thing is like, so in my head, Lori Petty will always be burned in there as a badass because fucking Tank Girl was one of the coolest movies I'd ever seen in my life as a kid. It was just
I forgot about that.
a fucking badass girl going out beating up dudes with a fucking, bunch of what do you call it? Kangaroo men.
Wasn't Pamela Anderson in that?
No, that's barbed wire. It's very
barbed wire. Thank you. Yeah.
I like the Starbuck character in the Battlestar Galactica reboot. Like
exactly.
And like perfect. Like
all those was you just fucking let them kick ass and be good. You don't have to sit there and preach to me about it. Like right. I my big soapbox is Jessica Jones season 1 versus Jessica Jones season 2. I love Jessica Jones season 1 because you just let her go out and kick ass, and that's all you needed to do. And then season 2, I started getting a lecture about it with every fucking episode, and it ruins the character. It takes me out of it. Like, I now no longer believe that this person kicks ass because they kick ass. It's now some fucking agenda thing, whereas you could have just continued letting her kick ass and have more female empowerment roll out. Fucking kills.
How about Star Trek Discovery? Also heavily into the women thing. I think they did a better job than Doctor Who, but sometimes it's pretty cringy too.
I mean, I don't.
Is that the new Star Trek?
What's that?
Is that the new Star Trek?
It's a newer one. What did you say, Nick?
Here, allow me to say sheer fucking hubris.
I don't get it.
Oh, sorry. That's right. That's what they did to fucking Captain. What's his name there? The old guy. So that was the season or the show after it, Discovery. It was
Picard.
Yeah, Picard. The whole thing is just designed to emasculate men. That's literally the point in those shows, and they were very open about it.
Yeah, it takes you out of the element of the show. And Gina Carano's character was pretty cool. She had a really kick-ass scene. She was badass. She was good looking. She was just like a heavy hitter, and I appreciated her role in that so much. It just sucks because they could have taken it. So what? They could have taken it to so many different levels, and it just sucks. And the fact that there's other Disney executives that were allowed to stay on after they posted a picture. Like one of these guys, I forget his name. Fuck, I wish I had it up. He said kids with MAGA hats should be put into the chopper, or what is it? The wood chipper. A MAGA hat first.
Yeah,
type of thing. And he
talking about that Catholic school, those kids,
Covington
right?
Catholic.
The Covington kids, yeah.
Yeah. It was cringy, man. It was fucking cringy, and they were allowed to keep their job. But saying something, saying a few things here and there that, I mean, yeah, it's a stretch what she was saying. And I
don't think it is even a stretch, though. She didn't say
a little bit of a stretch.
It's basic boomer con shit, really. I mean, it's not even dank shit. There's no Pepe in there. There was no Wojak. It was just fucking basic bitch, conservative shit.
I guess my thing is how is it really reaching that far? Her point was this is a path you can go down. She's not saying we're inherently on that path. She's saying if we don't make different decisions,
I don't know. I mean,
on that path.
I try to avoid. I think it kind of poisons the well a bit, poisons the argument to invoke the Holocaust. It just as a rule of thumb. So I try to avoid it personally. But like I said earlier, when the left or the mainstream media is constantly making these comparisons of Trump and Hitler, it's okay, if you guys are going to do it, then why can't everybody else do it? Why do you get special permission to do that without being called anti-Semitic?
Power, my friend.
Exactly.
I think it's the topic between of what happened before the Holocaust that they don't want us to remember or talk about. How did we get to the Holocaust? Seems to be something that is, let's not talk about all the intermediate steps, right? When should you start when was it okay to say hey, this is shitty? Was it it's just a registry, it's just a registry of Jews. Don't worry, it's sensible Jew regulation, or it's just going to be, not everyone's going to be disarmed.
Regulation.
It's going to be just some gun control, mostly for Jews, just because, we've decided that, step by step by step. And then there was Glasnost and, all the different things that happen,
Right.
When would have been the right time to been like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
And if we can't see the parallels to all those steps, like it's like we can only when they're running gas chambers at that point can we compare it to?
Well, that's whataboutism. How dare you? Like that's what they hit you with, man. You sit there and say, well, what about when in Nazi before the Weimar Republic, where Jews and stuff were getting run out of the town and they were getting jumped in the streets, and you're like, that's just whataboutism, like it's a way to shut you up.
Whataboutism is when you're like, well, Trump's bad, but what about Obama? That's more whataboutism.
It's the general point, Jared.
But it's the snitch culture. You don't want to criticize snitch culture, right? Because they're deep into their snitch culture right now. Ratting on your, like call your COVID hotline. Ooh, you see somebody without a mask, you better call this number. Like, comply, like rat, snitch, obey. This is their narrative. Like they don't want to be compared to other situations where that's been the norm.
Right.
I
don't know. It's just a shitty situation. It just sucks that any type of people, you're right. And if you're even if you aren't right of center, if you're just viewed as right of center, you're done. Like you're not allowed to exist. And that's just the culture that we're headed towards. And each day it goes more and more and more and more. And it sucks because we're going to, libertarians, anarchists, voluntarists, we're all going to be we're all lumped into that category. We're all, just go into the Washington Post comment section and type in the word libertarian and watch the 17 comments that come around. Like I had some guy comment on Twitter to us.
Write the word libertarian as
just
your comment.
Right word libertarian. It's like, wow, that's the white. Like seriously, some guy said that's the whitest thing ever. That's more white than getting mayonnaise at a Kroger's or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like some guy commented that on our Twitter page at Punk Rock Liberty on Twitter. So dude, it's ridiculous.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
Punk rock and liberty are pretty white, guys. I mean,
I know.
I've been to the shows. I mean,
but just the fact that somehow it's white, it's bad. Okay, so now it's just synonymous with bad. Like white.
Yeah,
is bad.
It's also connected to Mises Caucus.
Right. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Last I knew those
nothing racist going on.
Last I knew those white supremacists were reaching out to like the unsavory black elements.
Yeah, the Hoteps. Which I'm not I'm not a big fan of the Hoteps, but whatever, man. Throw it out there. Hey, let's bring liberty to the masses any way you can.
I
got no beef with the Hoteps, man.
Hotep Jesus?
Yep. Hotep Jesus, man.
I heard him interviewed on the Pete Quinones's podcast.
Oh yeah.
I don't agree with him on everything.
Interesting. I didn't know there was a background of, I don't know what he's accused of some unpopular opinion about. Is he anti-Semitic or something? I don't know what it was.
It's just
they didn't talk about that though.
I mean, there's some things where I don't like about the Hoteps. The stuff they say, it does come across he does say a lot of anti-Semitic things. Mm-hmm. He replaces the word Jewish with redacted on Twitter. And so he says a lot of things that make you kind of a little bit cringe.
Jared, what's the view on that on Hotep Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the stuff. I mean, they have some weird views. It's more like historical revisionism, I think, than it is like, I don't know, actually hating Jews per se. But I'm not a fan of it. But I don't look. They're such a minority. Like they're a minority of a minority. Like, what am I gonna do? Worry about it?
All right. So so to move on, we're gonna talk about Donald Trump, two-time champion of impeachment.
Did you see that boomer meme that went around? It was like him at the
That was the worst transition ever. I'm sorry.
It was like him at the It was like him at the WWE with like some trophy.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, please let it be like him with like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, and he's like doing double power bomb on him.
No, it wasn't even like edited. It was just like him like doing some
Trophy,
skit
yeah.
for the WWE with a trophy, and it's like
So this means
two-time
he
impeachment
could run.
champion.
He could run for president again, right?
He could,
Yes, he can run. They wanted it that way, dude. Spike Cohen made the perfect post about this. He just was just like they didn't want to not have Trump as their evil man lurking in the corner,
Exactly.
waiting to take
Right.
over. They need that boogeyman.
They don't. It would be so hard to come up with a different villain that's as good, right? Like you can do at least one sequel.
Literally Hitler.
James,
You
we
can get
adding
away
this
with
to
one
the
sequel
list?
with the same villain before you have to recast.
Can we add this to the list of I was right and he's been a Democrat plant the whole time? Are we getting closer to that? Don't
He's
believe
an
me now, wait 6 months.
unknowing plant of the Democrats.
Wait, so Spike was pointing out that they could have invoked the 24th or something instead, and it would have passed,
no, 14th, I think.
or the 14th.
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
But instead, they wanted to carry us through this whole.
Yeah, actually, no, hold on. Let me
let's just say let's think about this. Okay, I'm just assuming that Trump wanted to win this, right? Is that a safe assumption?
I think he did.
I would assume, yeah.
Okay, and do you think that I just think the deep state made a deal? You know, they were like, nope, you're not gonna Ross. Ross Ulbricht stays in jail. You don't get to pardon him. You don't get to pardon Assange. You don't get to say anything about Ed Snowden. You don't get any of this. And Trump's like, well, can I still pardon these war criminals and pedophiles? And they're like, oh yeah, that's fine.
All right.
And they're like, all right. And then so yeah, you'll go through. So then you'll be found not. Then the impeachment will fail.
All right.
That's our price.
So Spike Cohen said, as I said on Kennedy earlier this
awesome.
week, if congressional Democrats had actually wanted to keep Trump from running again, they would have censored him by invoking the 14th Amendment. That only needs a simple majority to pass. We all know impeachment would fail. It's what
What's
they
the
wanted.
14th Amendment for those that don't have their pocket constitution.
That's the one that basically says you're like unfit to hold office, like you've lost your mind, or
no. That's
Isn't
the
that right?
That's the
Or is that-
25th.
Wait, so what's the
25th.
14th?
14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to jurisdiction. Hold on, wait.
Where is Kyle when you need the fucking
I know, the
status
status.
handbook?
All right.
Here we go.
No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. What the fuck? Wait, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I thought.
Here we go. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, blah, 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 skip, if they shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. That's what it is. So if they can prove that he, incited this resurrection or insurrection, rather. Resurrection.
What are you, Bergman now?
Jesus.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I guess they could have pulled this off. I mean, would that have been any easier though? I don't know why
Yes, simple majority. That was
easier.
the point.
All right, so let me finish.
Right,
Let me finish this.
okay.
Yeah, let me finish this. They said so. Spike Cohen goes on to say they want Trump to run again because he's the perfect candidate to make sure their base votes for the quote lesser of evil Biden. Dems need Trump like the GOP needed Obama and Hillary. This is a giant, perpetual good cop, bad cop routine. You're being conned. Perfect fucking way to put it. Exactly. God, Spike is so fucking. We're getting Spike on. I'm getting Spike on then next week.
Dude, get him on. Hook him on.
Spike's coming on, man. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it.
Apparently, Spike's on Kennedy. I mean, you guys.
I know.
You're like
Listen
on
to
that
Kennedy
level.
on
He was on here first.
I know he was shirtless with all of you guys.
No, we were shirtless. He wasn't.
Oh, that's right. You guys were the shirtless ones.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
So
That's a
yeah,
good
so
time.
Trump's not guilty. He did not incite. If you read the speech and you hear what he said, he even says peacefully. Like this is the most absurd claim that is just so overdone, oversaid, overstated. Because you got people testifying. Oh my god, I was so scared that day.
So here's the sort of the steel man argument that I keep hearing. That how he incited this insurrection was basically his couple months long insistence that the election was fraud, and that he clearly won by millions of votes. And then him also telling people to show up at the Capitol, and then
This is their steelman argument.
This is the steelman argument that I've heard.
That's the terrible argument. Incitement has very, very specific things that it requires, like to actually go to court, and literally nothing that it requires is in any of that. Like you have to literally give instructions, very, very specific instructions, and they have to do exactly what you say. Otherwise, incitement it can't work. It doesn't work.
He should have been like, burn that shit down. Burn it down.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been way cooler if he actually did this, right? He was like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers.
Come on, Pookie, we gonna burn this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
It's all a scam. None of it's real.
This is all fake.
Down.
There's aliens in Area 51.
Don't pay your taxes. Wouldn't that would have been a good way to go out? Like,
I know.
It's all fake. Don't pay your taxes. I'm out.
The Democrats,
he probably would have been sniped right after he said it's all fake.
No, it would have been hilarious. He's like, the reason they couldn't get my tax returns is because I haven't filed in 30 years. They made that shit up.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would.
Do you think at some point they offered him like the kind of fame that JFK got for going up against the deep state? They're like, hey, he was a pretty famous presidency. What do you think?
Yeah.
You
see that sniper on the roof that's for your protection? What if he wasn't for your protection?
Yeah. Now let's talk pardons again. Who did you say you wanted to pardon? Ross Ulbricht? No.
No, you can pardon some war criminals and really scumbags and just awful human beings. Yeah.
No, give Lil Wayne a pardon.
Yeah, you can have Lil Wayne. Just pardon our war criminals.
Did he get? But you know what? He didn't even get the Tiger King. Damn it!
He had a limo outside waiting for him to take him out of jail.
Really?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he literally ordered a limo. Had a limo sitting outside jail because he thought for sure.
Well, I know that Ross was also crushed. Ross really had his hopes up.
There was never any chance that was happening.
No.
I even thought.
But when all you have is a desperate chance, it's like even like. It went from 1 in 10 million to 1 in 1 million. That's a big deal. But I thought the Tiger King would have got it, right? Come on.
Did Trump ever talk about Ross?
Supposedly it was being discussed behind the in the circles, and it was being strongly considered.
Like I know, obviously, like our people think that's important too, but like.
No, it was. I mean, from what I'm told, it was. He was up for consideration, and he had a chance at it.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I think Assange probably had a better chance than Ross. I think he had more star power behind him. I mean, he had Pamela Anderson, and I think even Kim Kardashian might have been arguing for Assange at some point.
But those are so hot.
Trump was arguing for Assange before he was in office.
Well, yeah, I mean, you would have thought, but of course, like you said, that's not going to fly. They're not going to the deep state's not going to let that happen. But
I mean, they've already I don't know, were you guys following that the Biden administration is already now
they're trying to extradite him already.
Seeking extradition on Assange again.
Yeah, fuck God.
But who's trying to extradite? They're trying to extradite Assange again.
Yep.
Yeah, Biden.
They'll never stop.
I'm hoping
they didn't even let him out of jail, did they? They don't have any reason to hold him, do they?
The only reason they're not extraditing him is because they say he's in bad mental health to be extradited. Not the fact that he's committed no crime and nothing. No, it's just
So what is he in a Swedish jail right now?
Oh, he's in an English fucking what is it? 23-hour isolation tank essentially. He's fucking.
He's being tortured to death.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same trick that they all fucking play. They want him dead, and they just want him to die and rot in jail. Just shut up. Don't be. They do the same shit. It's like the Israelis with the Palestinians. They just want him fucking dead. They're just gonna keep him in their little camps until they eventually can't reproduce, and then just eventually all die away, and all their resistance just dies with it. It's the same shit, man. That they won't come out right and fully, bomb or assassinate anymore. They just know they can contain it and just change. There's no public will. There's no outcry. There's no
they can control the public narrative as well.
Exactly.
They can just dial that back. If too many people start posting about Assange, just dial that back. No problem.
Okay. I'm just saying, I just want to call it out now. We need to get Based Auto to like start rapping. Like, I'm looking at this outfit he's got on with the glasses, the hat, like the shirt. Like I think we got something here. Based Auto.
Yeah, dude. Based Auto. You write something, I'll sing it.
We'll call you BO for short.
BO. That's
BO.
Dude, that's even better, man. Could be the stick.
That's a podcast.
I was there
all over you.
Yo, my rap name is Mo. M-O. Morbidly obese. Mo.
Wow.
What are you? Wow, that was funny. All right, whatever. All right. Well, we're gonna take this over to the after hours now. I think. I just want to thank you guys for checking us out again. If you guys fucking rock. You guys are so cool. You'd be a lot cooler if you guys sign up for our Patreon. You guys sign up for as little as $1 a month. You guys get to check out
if you did.
Right.
We're going to be talking about that like secret stuff. Like we're going to be talking about stuff that's worth $1. For instance, Bitcoin possibly hitting 50,000.
Bitcoin hitting 50. Yeah, that's right.
Jared's engagement.
Right.
We can discuss Jared's engagement.
Exactly. We got to make sure his bride to be signed a prenup. Jared's
we can make sure we're going to look out for Jared on this.
What
else are we going to discuss on the after hours show?
I don't know. I got to dip out, so I won't be able to partake, but I sure will listen because
AOC crying.
Right. We got to talk about that.
Morgan Wallen saying the N-word.
Right. All the good stuff. Lots of N-words. Lots of N-words. If you guys want to listen, check out the Patreon. Jared says lots of N-words.
And is that a Mises Caucus reference?
Boo. But anyway, so if you guys want to hear the good shit that goes on, be a Patreon subscriber like I am. Even if you get $10 a month, you get a free T-shirt. We'll send it your way. To go over there. And if you guys don't want to use Patreon, go to PRLfans.com. And there's other ways to donate to the show to keep the lights on in all of our anarchy basements, assertion basements, have you. And other ways to help out too. Go to libertariancountry.com and they have a whole bunch of new shit, dude. I got an email. It was fucking awesome. They have a whole like Lysander Spooner shirt, just this cool kick-ass picture, just him on it. I'm gonna go buy it. But I'm going to use our code. So if you guys want to shop there too, please use our code PRL or PRL Podcast. That'll get you a 10% discount. But if you want to spend $50 or more, which I suggest, use the code PRL2 and get yourself a 20% discount. Tonight we're brought to you by Conversations About Freedom with Moral Bob. And until next time, live free
or die.